Welcome to Anchors in Time. My name's Rachel and I am back at the Lilliput Antique Doll and Toy Museum to talk about this little guy and how he owes his existence to an Act of Parliament and the Industrial Revolution. So what you're looking at here is a toy called a Growler, which is a papier-mâché French Bulldog that was popularised in the 1880s to 1890s. And to understand why he exists, we need to look at how French Bulldogs came to be as a breed. So from the 1600s in the UK, there was a type of now extinct dog called an Old English Bulldog. This was a Mastiff type dog that had been specifically bred for a particularly nasty blood sport called bull baiting. And in 1835, British Parliament passed the Cruelty to Animals Act, which banned all forms of dog fighting and dog-related sports. So suddenly a lot of Victorian dog breeders found themselves with dogs that were basically unemployed. Some of them went one way and decided to mix them with another type of extinct breed called an Old English Terrier, which is where we get Staffordshire Bull Terriers, English Bull Terriers and Pit Bulls from. And other breeders decided to go the other way and turn these bulldogs into companion animals. One particularly vocal and famous advocate for this was a guy called Bill George, and he had taken over from his boss, who had been an Old English Bulldog breeder, when he had died in 1835, and he had started to pick out dogs that were a bit shorter, a bit more amenable to start breeding bulldogs as a companion animal. From this, we ended up with two types of dog, which is the British Bulldog or the English Bulldog, which we've all seen, and a now extinct breed called a toy bulldog. These toy bulldogs were popular with a very particular group of people who were the Nottingham lace makers, who found themselves displaced during the Industrial Revolution with the advent of machine-made lace, and moved themselves and their small dogs to Normandy in France, where these dogs were then mixed with a Parisian rat terrier and various other terriers to create what is more like the modern French bulldog that you see today. These energetic game little dogs became very popular companion animals for France's elite social circles, ladies who lunched, artists, and therefore became incredibly expensive. So in the 1880s, 1890s, somebody came up with the bright idea of creating toy versions of these dogs, and the Growlers were born. These are life-size facsimiles made of paper mache. They had a head that moved and a mouth that opened, and they had a mechanism in the back of their neck that when you pulled a chain, they would open their mouths and they would growl and they would bark, and they had little casters embedded in their feet so that you could pull them along like a real dog. And these were mass produced and incredibly popular. However, they are quite rare today because of what they were made of and their tendency to get crushed or destroyed or sometimes gnawed on by actual French bulldogs.